Okay. Okay, so let's continue. If we don't get the PowerPoint done, we'll just move on. So like I was saying, I said, please note that this is an opportunity open only to serious-minded, investment-minded, and mature individuals, families, and organizations who are interested in wealth building and not people with get-rich-quick mindsets or unreasonable and difficult people. Now, why am I saying this? Because many times when it comes to the issue of money, there are a lot of people that have this get-rich-quick idea. I get calls from people, I get emails from people. Even today, I still got an email from someone, they just ask questions like, oh, I have 1 million. What can I do that I'll be getting 100,000 every month? Oh, I have $10,000. What can I do that I'll be getting $1,000 every month? And I'm like, hello. So, and then many times, a lot of people are short-time minded. They want to put down money today and start earning tomorrow. And most of the time, people don't realize that you need to delay gratification. People don't realize that you need to, wealth creation takes time. I remember one of the fractional, yeah?
So you identify which of these
Is the PowerPoint ready?
PowerPoint is not ready. If you are not speaking, please mute yourself, everyone.
Okay, so let me. Okay, can I continue?
Yes, sir. You can continue.
Yes, you can.
Just go on, sir.
Okay, so one of the fractional ownerships that we did last year, we had a guy from Germany that was part of, I think there were 7 of them then. We had this guy from Germany that invested to be part of the 7 people that got the property. And then the guy was told from the beginning that when people put the money together, when the money is completed, the entire process will take about 3 months. And then the guy brought the money, and 2 months later, he was asking how far. And we're like, how far was what? We have gotten the property, we are still doing renovation. He said, I have a plan on what I will be doing with the income every month for a property that I've done. So that's why I put things like this there, because there are a lot of people that are just short-term minded. And it's not wrong to be short-term minded if that's what you want, but you just need to know the kind of investment that fits into your desires and your expectations. So that is one thing that we have here. So the first thing we need to understand is that the opportunity we're sharing today is not for everybody, but it's for people that are interested in wealth building. It's for people that are interested in having another source of income that will give them cash flow. It's for people that are serious-minded and understand what it means to build wealth. Now, why real estate? If we're talking about real estate fractional ownership, why real estate? Number one is because real estate is a powerful vehicle of wealth creation. All over the world, when it comes to creating wealth, real estate is one of the things that people have used to create wealth. All the rich and wealthy people on earth, when you sit down with them, you realize that one of the vehicles they have used to create wealth is real estate. Number two, it's a powerful vehicle of wealth retention. It doesn't just help people to, create wealth. Real estate also helps people to retain their wealth. And that's why we need to always explore real estate. Number three, it helps to hedge against inflation. It helps to hedge against inflation. When you look at the inflation that is happening in different parts of the world, you realize that when people are involved in real estate, it's one of the things that helps them to be able to hedge against inflation. Number four, it helps to hedge against devaluation. It helps to hedge against devaluation. Many countries' currencies are being devalued over time when they are put side by side the currencies of other nations. And when you have real estate, one of the things that real estate does is that it helps you to hedge not just against inflation, but also against devaluation, because the real estate as an asset can absorb whatever inflation or whatever devaluation as occurred in your economy within the geographical environment where you function. Next, it helps to make your money work for you. Another reason why real estate is very powerful is because instead of you working hard for money, when you are involved in real estate, it helps to make money work for you. So instead of you being the one working for money, the real estate continues to work for you. So you buy a property, you put in a tenant in the property, it gives you rental income. You are busy doing your normal work or your normal business while the property is appreciating and you are still getting rental income. So while you are working, the money that you put into that property is also working for you. And that's one of the reasons why real estate is very, very important. Another reason is because it gives multiple benefits. When you invest in real estate, you are going to be getting a lot of benefit. Number one, there's capital appreciation. The money you have put into that property will not remain the same because the property will continue to appreciate. Number two, it gives you cash flow. The rental income that you get from that property is another benefit. Number three, that real estate itself is a valuable asset. And like I've said to people over and over again, riches has to do with cash, wealth has to do with assets. So when you say someone is rich, being rich is cash-based, being wealthy is asset-based. So real estate is a valuable asset that helps to become part of your net worth and part of your wealth as you begin to journey through life. Now, why real estate? Another reason is because it's a transferable asset and your descendants. And for everyone listening to me right now, how would you feel if you suddenly realize that your grandfather or great-grandfather or father has left a property for you worth $1 million or worth $300,000? Of course, it's going to be a major, addition to your life. And that's what you can now do in helping your children and those coming behind you to be able to get something good for them. Now, the next thing is, why America? Because we're talking about fractional home ownership in America. I've given you the reasons why real estate. Now let's look at why America. Why are we looking at fractional home ownership in America? Number one, America is the location that gives you opportunity to buy cheap properties because of the diverse dimensions of opportunity that are available in different states in the US. America gives opportunity to the rich and the poor to be able to enter into different aspects of the market. So in America today, there are properties you can buy for as low as $20,000, $30,000. I'm talking of a complete building in some parts of the US. And there are properties that can go for as much as $80 million. So whether you are the high end or you are the low end, there is opportunity for you. And because I live in Nigeria, I have a lot of mentees in Nigeria, I have millions of people that follow me. One of the things that has helped me as an individual is the fact that I've been able to build wealth and I've been able to acquire assets that gives me income in foreign currency. So no matter what happens to the value of the Naira, which is the primary location where I operate from, because I have income from dollars, from pounds, and from other currencies, it helps me. And that's why I decided that this opportunity that I have seen that has helped me, let me see how I can open it up to other people. So America is a location that can help you to get cheap property. Number two, why America? Is because it's the location that I have tested. Just this week, and I think the person is actually here. Okay, he's here. I can see him here. Just this week, someone had called me and said, you have been talking about American fractional ownership and you have been talking about the London fractional ownership. But I see that you talk more about America than London, that I want to buy into the London fractional home ownership. And I told him, the reason why I talk more about America and not London is because while I have properties in the UK, I have not done fractional ownership in the UK yet. So if I'm going to do fractional home ownership in the UK, I need to be a part of the first one. And when I get other people to join me, we do it. We now test it before I can now be so bold and courageous to say, well, let's do London, let's do London. I have people in London that have promised that they can make it happen, but I have not tested it yet because all the properties I have is not fractional ownership. My family owns it outright. So that is why I chose America, because in America, I have done properties alone, and in America, we have done fractional ownership, not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. So we've done many of it with different people all over the world owning properties together. So why America is because it's a location that I have tested and I have proven. And I know that it's something that people can take advantage of. And number three, the reason why we're also looking at America is because it's a location that gives good return for your investment. It's a location that gives good return for your investment. For those that are in other parts of the world, maybe you are in Nigeria. When you are in Nigeria, you are in Africa, most of the time, we don't understand how things operate in the Western world. For instance, if you want to borrow money in Nigeria right now, you need something around 30-32% that you're going to be paying the bank. Your mortgage, if you are doing mortgage will be about 18 to 20%. People in America cannot understand that. How can you borrow money at 30%? How can you be paying mortgage and it's 18-20% for mortgage? But that's the same way people in Nigeria will wonder, you mean you borrow money for single digits? You borrow money for 6%, 7%. So America gives good return for the investment you put into it once you're able to buy into the right kind of property. Then it's a location. Another reason why America is one of the things we're talking about is because it's also a location that allows investors from anywhere in the world to invest and thrive. America is the capitalist environment. So as far as you are an investor, America is ready to welcome you once you are bringing your money and you are a business person. You are not coming to be a liability to them. So once you are an investor, America is a good place for you to also be involved. And then, number five, the currency of America is very strong. Presently, the dollar is the unit of transaction in the world. So it's a very strong currency. And once you are earning in dollars, it goes a long way in changing the game for you, especially for those that are outside the US. Then the next question we need to look at, or next thing I want to deal with, is why Detroit? Because some people have also approached me and they want to do fractional home ownership, but they want to do it in California, or they want to do it in Florida, or they want to do it in Houston, or they want to do it in Chicago. They keep naming different places. So I've been part of outright ownership and fractional ownership of numerous houses over the years, but I've stayed majorly in Detroit for a few reasons. And that's why I want to talk to us about that, because sometimes there are some people that have bought into some of our fractional home ownership, and when they talk to some of their friends and family in America and say, oh, I joined some people, we bought a house in Detroit, they'll say, Detroit, why don't you people come and do Chicago? Why don't you people come and do Florida? Why don't you people come and they keep coming up with all kinds of stuff. So the fractional home ownership option can be done anywhere. We did one in Canada with some group of people. I think there are almost 100 of them. I think the house is about $880,000, and people were told to bring money. So you can do it anywhere. But why did I stay with Detroit? Why is Detroit the major place I keep pushing for people? Number one, the first reason is because Detroit went bankrupt years ago. And because of the bankruptcy of Detroit, a lot of property, when the is it Ford Motor, General Motors, and all the motor companies had a problem, and we had the problem in America during the subprime mortgage stuff, and then the Obama era, we had the bailout and all this. So Detroit went bankrupt, and because Detroit went bankrupt, the car factories went bankrupt, a lot of companies went belly up. Many of the houses became like a ghost town. I bought my first property in Detroit in 2009. 2009. And I bought that property for 10,900 naira. $10,900. The property was less than 11,000. 2009. And I spent about 6,000 renovating it. And we have been earning income from that property since then. Bishop is here. He's been on this journey with me since then. At a point in Detroit, along with some other people, we had about 40-something properties. So we kept buying, The highest property we bought in Detroit then was less than $30,000. So Detroit went bankrupt and the properties became so cheap. Properties of $200,000, properties of $150,000 was going for as low as $20,000, $30,000. And that was an opportunity we plugged into in the 09, 010, 011, 012 era. So when I saw that, I'm like, wow, this is an opportunity. So you spend less than $30,000 on a property, and you are getting, our rents then used to be $650, $750. So we're getting $750 every month. That's an opportunity. And I thought, wow, this is good. Let me share with people. Many people did not buy into it. They thought it was fake. They thought it cannot be real. How can you buy a whole house for $20,000 in America when a plot of land in Nigeria is more expensive than that? Well, here we are. The same property we used to buy for $10,000, $20,000. Now, many of them are in the region of 60, 70, 80, 100,000. So number one is because of that bankruptcy issue. So there are still a lot of, I went to a place in Detroit, as far as your eyes can see, houses like a ghost town. Ghost town. So that's one of the reasons, because Detroit went bankrupt and a lot of the properties became cheap. Number two, the second reason why I chose Detroit, because it's becoming a boom market. Because right now, the government did a bailout, there's a new Detroit, a lot of reurbanization and revitalization is going on. So you find out that many of those places that used to be a ghost town, a lot of Chinese companies, a lot of Asians, a lot of people have invaded that place. So they will just come and buy 500 houses. They will just come and buy 200 houses. And before you know it, places that were ghost town is becoming revived again. And that means that even though some of those properties are no more as cheap as they used to be, they are beginning to grow, but there's still enough opportunity to plug into. So it's becoming a boom market. Number three, the third reason why I chose Detroit is because it's a location that I have tested and proven. At least in that Detroit, to me, I have had not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. I'm talking not six, not so. I've had houses upon houses upon houses in Detroit and earn money. So it is not taste by moonlight, it's something I have done. So I'm speaking from a place where I have made money. I have bought houses, I have sold houses, and in the last 2 years alone, we have done this fractional ownership, and we have done not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six. We've done many of it. And some of the people that own some of those houses, they are here. So that is another reason why I've chosen Detroit, because it's a location that I've tested and proven. Now, number four, another reason why I chose Detroit is because it's a location where I have trusted hands to handle vital aspects of the process for me. Because I don't live in America. I'm a Nigerian, I live in Nigeria, but I'm a global citizen. And I operate based on trust when I work with people. So I cannot be in Nigeria and be in Detroit at the same time. So Detroit is the place where I have trusted hands. If you want to get the property now, I have guys that can take care of all the auction process, get the house. If you want to renovate the houses, I have guys that can do that. If you want to get the customer, I have guys that can do that. If you want to manage the property, so I have people that can do all that needs to be done. So that is, I've tried to do that in other places. We have properties in Atlanta. I've tried to do that in other people. Only in few places do you have all this group. So some places I have people that when it comes to buying the house, they can make it happen. But when it comes to renovation, they say, oh, I don't do renovation. I will introduce you to somebody. There are people that, there are some states where I have people that can do renovation. I say, okay, you can renovate. Okay, can you get the house? I don't know how to buy. Once you buy the house. So, but in Detroit, I have everything put together. Another reason why I said Detroit is because it is the location where I've been able to perfect the 90 days turnaround strategy. From the point of purchase to the point of getting a tenant, within 90 days, we make it happen. And we have tested that. So it is like we are sure now that within 90 days, once the money is ready, from the day the money is ready, within 90 days, we can start earning. And that's why every time we introduce this opportunity to people, we tell them once the money is ready, it's a 90-day turnaround situation. So now, I really wish that we had the PowerPoint sorted out. It would have helped at this point, but I don't know, the technical team just messed up a lot of things today. And because I'm not around the internet and everything. So I want us to look at 3 properties. So if you have a pen, you might need to take note now, because since the PowerPoint is not here, I need to give you some information so that you probably use it to do some calculation. So I want to let's do a case study of 3 houses we have done in Detroit within the last 1 year. 3 houses we have done in Detroit between April last year and now. So just within the last 10 months. So let's look at 3 houses. So number 1, we have Rosemary. So his address is 12615 Rosemary Street, Detroit, Michigan. 12615 Rosemary Street, Detroit, Michigan. Now, this is a 3-bedroom single family home. This was done at $70,000. 7 people own it. Some of the owners are here. So 7 people came together. When we did our conclave summit in March last year, I introduced this to people and they started coming together. So 7 people came together to buy this Rosemary. And the 7 people that came together bought it. So they brought $13,000 each, and 7 of them own the property. That property brings $1,200 every month. The tax on that property is $3,310 in a year, and the insurance is $1,595. So rental income is $1,200, tax is $3,310, the insurance is $1,595. So that property total annual gross income is $14,400. Now, when you remove expenses, so the total net income less expenses is $8,055. So what are the expenses? Agents collect 10%. 10% in 12 months is $1,440. Insurance, $1,595. Tax, $3,310. So that comes to a total of $6,345. When you minus $6,345 from the $14,400, they have $8,055. So that $8,055 is now the annual return to be shared among the 7 people as they agree within themselves. Next is 15254 Bringer Drive. 15254 Bringer Drive, Detroit, Michigan. This is a 3-bedroom single family home. This one was completed at $80,000. Deal with 8 owners. Rental income, $1,250 per month. Agent collects 10%. Tax is $3,044. Insurance, $1,554. Total gross annual income, $15,000. Total net income less expenses, $8,902. So that means expenses are agent collects 10%, that's $1,005. Insurance, $1,554. Tax, $3,044, coming to a total of $6,098. So at the end of the year, $8,902 is their annual return to be shared as they agree among themselves. The one we just did now, which is starting to end this month, and we have all the people that bought into it here on this platform now. So we started this, I think, November last year or thereabouts, October, November. But now we have 10 people coming together. The address is 20404 Spencer Avenue. 20404 Spencer Avenue, Detroit, Michigan. And this one is a 2-bedroom single-family home. This was completed this January 2025 at 100,000 deal with 10 owners. So you see that the price is increasing already. The price is increasing. So we are right now at 100,000. And rental income is 1,100 per month. Agent collects 10%. Tax is 1,006. Insurance is 1,228. Now, if you notice, you realize that even though this one is 100,000, it's 2-bedroom, unlike the other ones that are 3-bedroom, and you notice that the rent is 1,001. The one that is 3-bedroom, the rent is 1,002 or 1,003, but this 1,001 and it's 2-bedroom. But if you look now at their taxes, this tax is 1,006 as opposed to the tax that is 3,000 plus for the other ones. And insurance here is 1,228 as opposed to the insurance of the other one that is 1,500 or something. So for this one, the total gross annual income is 13,200. Total net income less expenses, which the expenses is 4,148, which is the agent, insurance, and tax. Now, this comes to annual return, 9,052 is the annual return to be shared as they agree among themselves. So now, if you look at this compared to the other ones, you see that at the end of the day, even though this one is 2-bedroom, what you are going to get, the return is higher than the other return, even though they were 70, 80, and this 100. So just what we'll try to do is to send the PowerPoint to everybody. I'll send the PowerPoint out on the Conclave platform, and then for the WhatsApp, I'll send it to Bishop. He'll put it on the platform or send it to everybody so that you can have this, this PowerPoint. Now, so having seen that now, this one, so for those of you that just bought into the new one that we just completed now, that's our property now. And we have decided that, like, based on the contract that we signed, or based on the agreement, the expression of interest, the contract will be sent to everybody. So we have decided that it will be divided into 12. The 10 owners will get a portion. Then the LLC that is managing it will also get a portion. And then we are going to save a portion. So instead of, even though it's 10 people coming together to own the property, when it's time to share, it will be shared into 12 places. 10 people will get their own. The company managing will get his own, and they will be saving a portion so that if there's anything that needs us to spend money, we won't need to be calling everybody, send $20, send $30, send $50. We have the money. And then what we are going to do is, after this meeting, we're going to send the contract to those that are involved in this 2025 deal. Once all of us have signed the contract, we're now going to have a WhatsApp group. So in that WhatsApp group, myself, I'll be there, my wife will be there, the lawyer will be there, Bishop will be there, plus the 10 of us, so that we can now use that WhatsApp group to have constant communication. So the WhatsApp group will be set up this month once we are done with all the signing of the documents, and the document will be sent out anytime from now. Okay, so let's move on to terms and conditions. First is an opportunity open to serious-minded people. Like I said earlier on. Number two, for you to be a part of this, you pay a non-refundable acceptance fee of $100, which is payable on the submission of your expression of interest form. Number three, you must read the form, look at the terms and conditions, understand it, ask all your questions, and then you sign and return with a passport photo. Number four, the minimum investment is $10,000 per person. So it's $10,000 per slot, and now we're at 100,000. So my wife and I, we are going to be involved in every of the property. Number one, so that we also can be part of the owners. Number two, to give people confidence, so that if we are telling you put money together, we too, we are part of the 10. So when we are part of the 10, we are all together. So we too, we put our own money so that it will not seem as if you are the only one doing it. So we are not leaving you alone. We have made up our mind as a family that every fractional ownership we do, we too will be part of the 10. And that's what we have been doing already. So for this one that we did in 2025 now, my family, my wife and I are involved. So we are also part of the 10. So it's minimum of $10,000. And you can buy more than one slot. So you can decide to do 2 slots, 3 slots, 5 slots. Or if you want to buy a property on your own, I have somebody on this platform now that is here today. He said he doesn't want to do fractional ownership. He wants to buy his own 100,000 by himself. No problem. So if you want to buy on your own, we are there for you. We'll help you to make it happen. So then another terms and condition, by completing and signing the application form, you attest to the fact that the source of fund being used for this investment is legal. And you indemnify Common Sense Investment LLC and its owner if your source of fund is found to be legal. So we believe that that's why we give everybody the expression of interest form. So once you are signing that form, we believe that you are not a fraud. We believe that you didn't steal the money. Any money you are giving us is money that is from a clean source. Then all payments, once they are made, is non-refundable. So you cannot pay now and say, I changed my mind. I'm not doing it again. No. So before you do, make sure you do your due diligence and ask every question. Once you have paid money, there's nothing like I'm not doing it again. That's why we made everything plain. Because once you pay the money is committed. Except you bring somebody else to replace you. That's when they will now pay and then you can use their money as your own. Then, for now, we are at 100,000. And that's where we stand for now. So we don't have any property for fractional ownership that is lower than 100,000 now, because there are many things that are involved. So what are the things that are involved? When we say 100,000, it does not mean that we are buying the house for 100,000. No. Sometimes, like this one now that we are talking about, we bought it for 60, I think it's 67,000 that we bought the house. Now, but there are many other costs. So house purchase, we buy the houses on auction or in foreclosure or in the open market. Then we renovate. So if you buy a property for 67,000, you spend another 22 to renovate the house. 67 plus 22, you're already at 89 or thereabouts. So by the time you look at all the costs, because we have done this thing, like I said, over and over again. So when we say 100,000, it's because we have factored in everything to make sure that we don't need to come back to anybody again. So there's the purchase cost, there's renovation cost, then there is payment of any existing bills or taxes. Some of those houses have back taxes, which is one of the reasons why they were foreclosed. Some of them, they are owing the county money. Some of them, there is a lien on the house that you need to go and pay this and pay that. So, and sometimes you will not know until you have bought the house before you now realize that they are owing for this, they are owing for that. Sometimes it is when you want to reconnect them to power or reconnect them to gas that the power company will now tell you they are owing 800. The live gas company will say, no, there is a 1,200 bill on that property. Without paying, we are not reconnecting you. So we factor all that in. Then property registration. We normally use what we call quick claim deed. Quick claim deed, so that it's easier to quickly transfer the property from one person to the other. But we now have to go and register the property with the Detroit Council. So to go and register it, we pay. That's also part of the money. Then deed, the quick claim deed, the registration and documentation is all part of it. Then property insurance. When we buy a property, we renovate it, we will now insure the property. So the property insurance is also part of what the money is for. Then settling agents and contacts. The person that will help us get the house, we have an agreement, there is an amount he gets. Everybody has money, okay, for every property we do, you get 1,000. For every property we do, you get this. So that's why they are all faithful and loyal, because we are all enjoying the benefit together. So that's why we are working together as a team. So there are people that will collect money, and then getting a tenant also, the people in charge of getting tenant, they will put it on different platforms and all the processes too, even though that money is not much, that's also another money. Then the property will usually be ready within 90 days. And that is 90 days from the point when the money is complete. So when we have 100,000, So if 10 people are coming together and only 3 people have paid, the 3 people have to wait until we get to the other 7. So when we now have the 100,000 complete, 90 days will now start. Sometimes we don't wait for that. Once we have 60 or 70,000 and we're able to get the property for that, we get the property and we can start working on renovation. But from the point when the money is complete, that's when the 90 days will start. So if you want to join, please don't be in a hurry. If you are paying, we will let you know whether right now we have completed one this January now. A lot of people are saying they want to join, and I'm telling them we are just starting another one. They say, oh, what of the former? I want to join the former. I say, you can't join. That one is completed. So now I have about 7 people that have contacted me that they are ready. Bring money now. Nobody wants to bring money. They say, when others have paid and it's remaining 3, let me know. Is it me that will be having time to be remembering to call you that is remaining 3? I won't have that time. But now, if we have 3 people that are paid, anybody that can say 3 are paid, they will remain 7. Then you pay. That's why we say it has to be for serious-minded people. I understand that 10,000 is a lot of money. I understand, but if you don't pay, how will we have one to say it's remaining 9? If 10 people call me and every 10 person is waiting for somebody else to pay first, we have had a situation where we got people and they all told me they are ready. Oh, once you are ready, let me know. I carried my iPad, I opened the folder, fractional ownership prospect. I started writing the names of people. Then I got 14 people. I told Bishop, we have gotten 14 people. Let me call all of them, the first 10 to pay. So I contacted all of them. I said, we are ready. Send your money to this account within the next 3 days. The first 10 people to pay. Story started. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, the next one. I said, but you told me you are ready. That I should call you. So at the end of the day, out of those 14, only 4 ended up paying. We now still needed 6 again. I'm explaining all this to you so that you will not feel that I'm being difficult. I have a track record. I have examples. I have things I've gone through. And while I know that this is an opportunity that I will benefit from, I also believe that it's an opportunity that will benefit people. And at this stage of my life, anything that is becoming too stressful, I remove myself. So I'm saying all because some people say they are ready. Bring money, story will start. So please, let's note that. Then, all the co-owned property will be unsold for at least 5 years. So what do we mean by that? When we buy the property now, at least for the first 5 years, nobody should say, let's sell, except there is a problem. We want to keep the property forever, if possible. I told you I bought my first property in Detroit in 2009, I believe. The first one I bought in Atlanta was, I think, the same 2009 or 2008. The property is still there till now, since 2008, 2009. I'm still collecting rent till now. 2009 till now, that's how many years? 2010, 2025, that's 15, 16 years ago. I'm still collecting rent from the same property 16 years later. If I had sold it off, and that property that I bought for 10,900 or whatever, everything that finished that property is less than 20,000. That property is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars now. So if we say we want to rush and sell, we may lose. Why? Because don't forget that we are buying at 100,000 at a property that probably costs 60-something thousand, because we have to now renovate. But in the actual cost, maybe the property is 180 or 250. But because the market is bad, it will take time for the property to climb back to that level. So we need to be patient. So once we buy, we don't intend to sell, but every 5 years we'll be discussing it, since we'll all be on the same WhatsApp group. Then all the rent that will be paid will be kept for 1 year. We're not going to be sharing money every month. So, because sometimes tenants may not pay. Some tenants may not pay for 1 month. They may now pay later. Sometimes a tenant may lose their job, and then you have to remove them, evict them. You go to buy, you still spend money for eviction, pay lawyer before you now get another tenant again. So there are a lot of things that can go wrong. But the fact remains that you have bought the property, you are not having any mortgage, the asset is there, and you continue to gain. So tenants can have issues. So we keep the rent for 1 year so that after we have kept the rent, we'll pay taxes, we'll pay insurance, we know that we have paid everybody before we now start sharing money. So that you not go and share money every month. And then they will say boiler spoil. And they say boiler is 3,800. We now start calling everybody, hello, boiler, oh, we need to send $300 each. You say, I don't have money, oh, I didn't plan for this one. No. So those are the reasons why we do that. So like I said again, a portion of the money will be left in the account so that it will be like a reserve fund for any eventuality. All the property will be coordinated and managed by Common Sense Investment LLC in the US. They will oversee the entire process. And for that, overseeing that process and making sure that everything goes wrong, the company gets 10%. That's why there are 12 of us. So the 10 owners of the property will get their own, the company will get, and then 10 another. So it's divided into 12. And everybody will now operate like that. Then all parties are to sign a partnership agreement detailing all the agreed policy. The agreement is ready. It's going to be sent to you within the next, if not the next 24 hours, the next 48 hours. I've been on the road. I've been traveling. I just came back into the country yesterday, and I'm out of state again today. So I'll be settling down in the office later this week to now vet it and send it to everybody. So we'll send it to the office in Atlanta. They will send it to everybody. You go through it. Everybody will sign. Rent is already starting this month, so we're good to go. How to proceed? You fill an expression of interest form, which will be sent to you, so you can contact us for that. Then you complete the application form, and then you pay your $100, you pay your $1,100. And once you make the payment, you send the proof of payment to us, and then you sign and return the legal partnership agreement. 1 copy for you, 1 copy for us. And then you'll be added to the WhatsApp group that will be created. And that's how we proceed. So like I said, the contact person is Bishop, is in our office in Atlanta. He's the country manager that runs the operation in North America. And in Nigeria, myself and my wife will be handling everything from Nigeria. And our head of legal, Marisa Rita, will also be involved here in Nigeria. So that is what the fractional ownership is all about. And I just thought I should have this meeting, not just with the owners of the house, but with people that are prospects, and then with people that may also have family members that they would like to get involved in this. So thank you very much for listening to me. And I want to open the floor now for Q&A. So if you have any question, the floor is open. You can just use the icon to show your interest. Maybe you lift up your hands, and then we'll give you opportunity to ask questions. And so let's go. I'm ready.
As Olumide, if you just allow me to add to
go ahead.
Presented. This is Bishop Henry. Okay, so I just want to emphasize this again. Taxes, very important. It's not contingent on whether you make money or you don't make money. You have to pay your property tax. It's government property, it belongs to the government. It has to be paid, whether you like it or not. Otherwise, they will take over the house. Insurances, that will guard against what's it called now? Damage, fire or whatever it is, which is also important. One point that I also wanted to add is the maintenance. I think Dr. Olumide mentioned it briefly. Nobody prays for any bad thing, but if the boiler goes out, it goes out. You got to fix it. You can't leave your tenant without heat or without air conditioning. So all those things are going to come in. And I'm in total agreement that if you are looking for quick, money, what you'll be using to maintain yourself right now, no, that's not, this business is not for you. So maintenance is there. And then also he mentioned about tenants. Yes, 90 days turnaround, we are almost sure you will get somebody into that building. Yes. If it doesn't happen, maybe another 1 month or something. But even at that, tenants here, they are the king. If they don't pay, it might be difficult for you to get the judge to sign off on evict them. You don't just evict people anyhow. especially say during this winter. They tell you, I don't know where, I don't have where to go to. They don't have where to go to, you can evict them. So you might keep your property for months without rent coming in. We will always update you on all these things, and I'm sure you can verify some of them. Tenants here, they're like Oba, they are kings. You can't just evict them anyhow. Some places are more stricter than the others. And of course, I think you also mentioned the legal expenses. If you're going to even evict that tenant, there are costs that goes along with it. So you can even do it. I will give this guy, I don't know if Dr. Lumi want me to share it. There was a tenant that didn't pay for a long time, and then she even got COVID money. She kept the COVID money. She didn't give the COVID money to us. She took the money, she didn't pay for many months, and she took COVID money, support money, all those bailout money, and she eventually, we had to evict that person. So we evicted her, and we paid money to evict her. We still did not get our money. So that's the reality of it. I mean, every business have risks and gains, so, but like he emphasized at the beginning, this is a long-term investment, which eventually, even if you don't make money after 5-10 years, you want to sell that property, you're not going to sell it for 100,000 that you bought it, you're going to make some money back. So that's what I wanted to add to it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bishop. So we have Oluseyi. So please go ahead. You have the floor.
Okay, good evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Olumide and team, for this eye-opening investment that you just presented. I think my first time of coming across this was last year when you posted it, and at some point, by the time I indicated interest, you did mention to me then that the people did not comply, so that one has been cancelled. And this is it. Next time I'm getting this information, and I really appreciate you for this. So my question is very simple. I got all the informations. The way you presented them is well understood as far as I'm concerned. But my question that I want to ask, I know by that initially you are going to give us an account in Bank of America that we are going to pay money into, I guess, I presume. And if you are transferring from Nigeria from your Dome account, that is going to be into that account. So my question is this: with this, by the time you will subscribe to this initiative, if everything is successful, can you use that one to open an account in America?
Okay. Now, to open an account in America, you will need an American visa and an American address. So, except you want to open an account in proxy, there are PayPal accounts. There are a lot of accounts you can open without being in America. There are people that offer that service now. So they can open an American account for you, even though you are not in the US. But if you have an American visa, once you visit the US, if you have a phone number and an address of your brother, your uncle, your cousin, whatever, you can use it to open an account. Does that answer your question?
Perfect.
Okay. Then Moredike, you have the floor.
Okay. Good evening. I have 3 quick questions.
Okay.
The first one is that, based on your experience, how has it been with property taxes and whether they increase or not in Detroit? So that's one. The second question is, you mentioned about the last property that it changed from sharing between 10 people to 12 people. Is that going to be the method going forward? Even if, for instance, one person pays for the entire one, it would be +2.
Okay. So in Detroit, one of the uniqueness of Detroit is that they pay 2 taxes, which is why the taxes are high. So they have what they call winter tax and summer tax. And that is part of what they try to do to recover from their bankruptcy. And then taxes normally increase everywhere, but it's not an astronomical increase. Sometimes the increase may be $8, $10, $50 a year, but it's not very regular. So yes, taxes can increase over time, but it's not normally a substantial increase that will change a lot of things. So that's that. Then For this particular fractional ownership offer, we have come to a point now where we are at 100,000, and that 100,000 will be divided by 12. So 10 people will buy the property, but it will be divided into 12. The management company will own one, and then there will be an account where all the other 12th portion will be put into. So the 12th portion still belongs to the 10 people, but it is for eventuality, so that we'll not be pursuing people in case something goes wrong. But if you are buying a whole house on your own, you are on your own, nobody is sharing anything with you. All we will just do is to help you facilitate the process. So you pay us 100,000, we get you the house, we renovate the house for you, and then we get the tenant. Once we get the tenant, we connect you to the agent. So every month you collect your rent, agent will collect his own, you pay your taxes by yourself, you do everything by yourself, we will not collect anything from you. That is tax. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Emmanuel, you have the floor.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Thank you thank you for this opportunity. I've been talking to Barrister Rita. Okay. Actually, hopefully this week I should make the transfer.
Okay.
I wanted to make a quick clarifications.
Okay.
The first one is the property that the co-owner property that we want to buy. On whose name are you buying it?
Okay.
The second one is the issue of the difficult tenant which Bishop raised. I've experienced that in the UK. What measures are you taking to manage or minimize that exposure, where somebody comes into your property and just decide to be difficult?
Okay.
Then the third one is that is it possible for somebody to have a glance of what the final contract will look like?
Okay. Thank you. So number one, all properties on this scheme is bought in the name of Common Sense Investment LLC. That's why I said that's the company that will oversee and manage everything. And that's another reason why they are going to collect. They will be part of the 12th collection, because we have to do a lot of things. There is staff to handle, there is office to run, there is bank charges, there are all kinds of things. So every property will be bought in the name of the company. And that also protects us. So it's not in anybody's name. So we're able to have some, tax and a lot of exemption from a lot of things because of the fact that we are hiding under the corporation. Not hiding, but that's the right thing to do. So it's going to be bought in the name of Common Sense LLC. The next question about tenants. Well, like I said, I've been in this journey now since 2008. And I can tell you that when it comes to difficult tenants, let's leave it at a maximum of, I don't think we have gotten to 30% problem since we started. So, and anything you are doing where you have 70, 80, 90% success rate, I think you have minimized it. So the way to minimize it is at the point of who you are employing, who you are allowing to park into your house. And that is why I said I have guys on ground that handle all this stuff. So even before you come in, you want to be sure you have a job. They will check they have a credit score. They will check your job, your pay slip. So they do all those checks. So if for any reason there is now a problem, it will be because you had a problem, like you lost your job, there's a health crisis, there is COVID or whatever. So really, we have been able to minimize that to a large extent. So that's also sorted out. Then, what's the third question again? Sorry.
The third question was, is there a way for somebody to have a peep into the final contract between us and your company?
Do you have the expression of interest form?
Yes.
And that's the glance. Everything there is what is in the contract. That's why we put everything on that form. So everything you have on that form is what we have on the contract. The difference between the form and the contract is that the contract is prepared as a contract. You know that the contract is 10 people. So what you have on that expression of interest form is what we now put on the contract. We now put the name of everybody. They will now do it the way lawyers do things between Common Sense LLC, and they will now list the name of the 10 people, this date, this house, because, you know, we now have the address of the house. We now have all those things. So everything you have on the expression of interest is what's on the contract. But Rita will send you a sample of the contract just for you to see. It's the same thing. So whatever you have on the expression of interest form is what's on the contract. There's nothing else there. It's just the same. It's just the arrangement. And then you say you are paying this week. Please note, right now, that means you are in another batch. And if you are paying this week, you'll be number 4. We'll still be waiting for 6 more people. So we have 3 people that are paid now, waiting for 7 more people. So if you are paying this week, you'll be number 4. We'll be waiting for 6 more people, but we'll be updating. So anybody that wants to join, since Emmanuel is paying this week, we need 6 more people, and then we can start another one, and 90 days can start. Thank you. Kehinde, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm so honored to be part of this this forum. I messaged you yesterday. I sent a mail yesterday, and I'm so happy to have gotten your response and to give me the privilege to be part of this Zoom meeting. I have some questions. By the way, I'm based in New Jersey. 4 questions that I quickly want to ask about. Number 1, if you have a pre-approval, and maybe Bishop will also be able to lend some voice to this. If you have a pre-approval, meaning that you have all that it takes to get a house in the US, and the pre-approval is okay, can you serve as a realtor? Like I said, I'm based in New Jersey, and I'm interested in a property in Michigan. Can you serve as a realtor to help in managing the property in Michigan? That's number 1. Number 2, is it possible to have the contact of probably Bishop Henry if one wants to talk to him directly? That is number 2. Number 3, is it possible that you help, for example, I'm interested in maybe owning the property by myself. I'm not interested in fractional ownership. And if I want to own it, what involvement are you going to be able to advise or help in ensuring that that comes to be? The 4th one that I wanted to ask, I think you answered when I think somebody asked a question earlier, and you've been able to answer that for me. So those I think those are the 3 questions that I've jotted down for you to be able to put some light into. Thank you. And is it advisable? Last, let me just add this one. I've done a lot of research here, and I also understand about the bankruptcy in Michigan, in Detroit specifically. Well, some of the research I've made is that Metro Detroit is where people that is advisable for people to get property. Now, all of this property that you've been talking about, are they in Metro Michigan or they're in downtown Michigan?
Okay. So number 1, property management. Yes, like I told you, we have guys on ground. So if you buy a property in Michigan or Detroit and you need somebody to manage it for you as a realtor or as a agent, we have people on ground that can do that for you. All they collect is 10% of your rent every month. So you register with them, they collect 10%. So that is something that we can connect you to them. Number 2, yes, Bishop is on ground. He runs our office. So if you have the fractional form, the expression of interest form, his phone number is already there. The office number, Common Sense LLC in Atlanta. He runs the office. The phone is, you can get through to him with that. So yes, you can have his contact. That's not a problem. If you want to own the property alone, of course, you can own the property alone. What we will do for you is we will help you get the property, help you handle renovation, help you pay all the bills and register everything, help you get a tenant. Once you have a tenant, we will now hand over the property plus tenants and agent to you to say, okay, this is your house, this is the tenants, and this is the agent. So every month, the tenants will now be paying to the agents. Agents will be paying you the money less their 10%. So at that point, our own business with you is over. It is now between you and your tenants and the agents. So you'll be collecting your rent every month. You can spend your money every month, is your money. When taxes come, you gather money and pay your taxes. When it's time to pay your insurance, you pay your insurance. So if you want to own it alone, that's what we'll do for you. You pay us 100,000, we'll get you a house that can give you minimum of $1,000 a month. Minimum of $1,000. That's the formula. 100,000 minimum, 1,000 every month will come. So that's this. Then Metro Atlanta, Metro Detroit, like I told you, I said to you during the presentation that there is a lot of reurbanization and restructuring that is going on. And all the properties that used to be a ghost town is now being reurbanized. So all the properties we are offering now are not the one in the center of town where you buy 300,000, 400,000, but they are close to those areas. And that is why they are still cheap for now, but they are not in downtown dead area. They are not. So they are in between. Thank you. So Adebola, you have the floor. Adebola.
I'm sorry. Yeah, just trying to mute myself. Good evening or good afternoon, everyone. Part of my question has been answered when somebody, because I joined the meeting late. I was going to ask when the next batch is going to start, and I think somebody already answered that.
Yeah. So
that
the next
one is starting. Yeah.
The next batch has started already. We have 3 people that have paid. Then Emmanuel says he's paying this week. That's number 4. If you are ready, you'll be number 5, and that's the way it goes.
Okay. If I won't be able to join this batch, maybe the next one, because I'm doing we call it a contribution ajo, so I'm not going to be getting mine until next month. So if the batch is already full by next month, then when the next one will start, I will be interested. But I'll still check to see if there's any slot open before the end of next month.
No problem. So what I will advise you to do is to contact us for the expression of interest form. You fill the form and pay your $100 so that we'll know that you're on the list. Yeah. So fill the form, pay your $100. So whenever you have your 10,000, you now let us know. If the batch is still open, fine. If not, at least we know that. Because with that, once you have filled the form and paid $100, we'll be following you up. There is now the office, we have a reason to be following up, because at least that's part of the job of the office. This person has paid, they have expressed their interest, they will now be following up. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Chris, you have the floor.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, Doctor, and good evening, Bishop, and every member. My name is Chris. Just a quick question, sir. First, it's an honor to get to speak to you, sir. Appreciate the time. Like every other investment I've done, I always do it in view of my children in mind, that they'll inherit it. Yeah. I'm middle-aged, but of course, we do investments for children to inherit when we pass on. So just this, I was just wondering, since it's not going to be in my name, or is it transferable upon demise, or God forbid, but is it something I can pass on, like an inheritance to the children? That's just my angle of question.
Of course, yeah, of course. That's why you invest. So that, like I said, the agreement is between the company and the 10 people that own it, and your portion can be transferred to anybody you want it to be transferred to. So that's sorted out. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, on the form, on the expression of interest form, there's already a beneficiary section there. So you can always add somebody as a beneficiary there. So.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Adebolas, you have the floor. Is it the same one or another question? Okay, I think We are good. Do we have any other question before? Okay, Oluseyi. Okay, Oluseyi,
Yes,
you have the floor.
all right. Sorry to come back again. So, as a follow-up to the last question, I want to find out if one can sell his own portion.
If one can do what?
If you can sell your own portion.
Oh, yeah, you just bring somebody else, because we are not refunding money to you and will not sell the house because of you. So if you get somebody that wants to pay you 10,000, you can just inform the group to say, me, I've sold my portion. No. So the person will just replace you under the same condition that you signed. So you will just let us know. We'll just replace your name with the person's name. But we are not refunding money to you. So the person will pay you, and so nothing will disrupt the business. Yeah. Okay. In the absence of any question, I think we are good. So everybody, if you are interested, send us your desire. We'll send you the expression of interest form, and then we'll take it from there. Uzoma, you have the floor.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you for this opportunity, Dr. Olumide. I would like to ask a few things. In a situation whereby a person is not based in the US and want to own a property to herself through your company, just like one of the participants here asked and said, but in his own case, he said he lives in New Jersey. But in a situation whereby the person does not live in the US and wants to own the property alone under your company, because you already talked about probably at the point where the agent gets the, after the agent, after the property is bought, then you hand over to the agent. The agent continues from there. So as I think that in that situation, probably the person will not be able to manage everything well. What if your company does all of this and charges that person? Is this possible? That's what I wanted to ask. The second question is, can I go on, sir?
Go on.
Okay, the second one is that I understand that most Nigerians don't like to talk about this. I also understand that it's a registered company, but in this situation, we know that here the company, Common Sense, is working with OPM, other people's money. What are the measures that that you have put in place with your team, just in case? I'm not saying that just in the absence of Dr. Olumide. I'm not saying we want Dr. Olumide, we need you so much, but this is the this is a question most Nigerians don't want to ask. So that's it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so now for the first question, we have at least 3 people here that I can see that are in Nigeria that own a property outrightly. They are not, in fact, one of them, we still had the discussion this week. Okay, today's Sunday, yeah, this last week. He's going to the embassy to try to get a visa now to go to the US. And when he gets the visa now, he's going to be seeing his property for the first time. Even though he has owned the property now for, I think, over a year or thereabouts. He's here now on this call. So, yes, you can own the property on your own, and the agents will undo it for you. There's no point paying in 2 places. What the agent is doing is going to be a good job. The agent is not an outsider that will mess you up. It's someone that we are working with. It is the same agent managing all our own property too. So there's no point saying Common Sense should manage it for you, that you will pay. It's like you are paying double. Agents will collect 10%, we will collect 10%, and we are not doing anything than to just be helping you to ask agent how far. So really, don't worry about that. The agent is someone that once we connect you to him, you just make sure you follow up every month. How are you? That's it. But if you say you want to give me money, I will collect. I can add myself to it, and I'll still collect another 10%. I'll be helping you to manage the agent that is managing the property. But really, we don't need to do that. To your second question, this is actually a different thing from other people's money. Why? This is a property. It's not as if we are collecting your money to go and invest in one property. We are investing in a property that is co-owned by everybody. So, and there is a contract between the company and the owners of the property. And property is not a car that can be moved. It's not a shoe that can be moved. It's a stationary asset that continues to appreciate. So whether Olumide Emmanuel is alive or not, at least you have a contract, you know the property, you know the address of your property. So that's not a problem. The company will continue to run. So that is that on that. I see another Emmanuel is lifting up his hand. So Emmanuel, you have the floor.
Sorry, sir. I will be very fast. I spoke earlier on. Just two quick questions, please.
Okay.
The first one is it possible to make such payment by cards, maybe like a MasterCard? Then the second one is, you people manage property, an existing property, or do you have a reliable hand to do that in the UK?
Okay. So about paying via card or whatever, you need to talk to Bishop. Is one that will know, because we're going to send you the wire transfer, but Bishop is the one that can answer whether you can pay with MasterCard or whatever. So that's Bishop's department. Is the one that runs the office. Then managing property in the UK. What part of the UK?
Durham.
What?
Durham.
Okay. So I'm going to give you the contact of someone. Let me just do that now so that we'll get that out of the way. So let me give you the contact of our UK. Is in Manchester. Hold on. What's that? Okay, so the phone number is 07960 910033. 910033. 07960 910033. His name is Sunday. Just tell him I sent you and give him the address and everything. And if it's something he can do, he will be able to manage it for you. If not, he will connect you to somebody. So, and whatever you discuss with him, you give me a feedback. Okay. Okay, so I think we're good. Any other we are rounding up. Our PowerPoint finally came up. Well done, my baby. We thought this our technology issue. So, so in the absence of any question, yeah, babe, just continue, just be rolling it on so that people can just see all those parts. This is the PowerPoint that is finally here. We'll put the PowerPoint on the platform. So anybody that is interested, like I've said, contact us. We'll send you the expression of interest form. You fill the form, pay your $100. We know that you're already qualified. And then when your 10,000 is ready, you pay. But if your 10,000 is ready, don't wait for anybody. We already have 3 people on ground. Then Emmanuel is promising to pay this week. That will be number 4. Another person. So we need 6 more people. Once we're able to use this February to gather 10 people, that means March, April, May, we'll be able to sort out another one. And then by March again, we gather again and we'll move on like that. So while the PowerPoint is scrolling for you to keep seeing, Adeyinka, you have the floor.
Good evening, sir. I have my questions on the chat box. Can you please,
Okay, I'm going to go there. Adeyinka, you have the floor.
Yes, I raised a question. Do you have a presence in Republic of Ireland? And can we have a review of this deliberation because I came in late?
Okay, we can't have a review, but we're going to send you the recorded version and the PowerPoint. So you can listen to the recording and listen to the, we're going to put that maybe on my YouTube channel or somewhere. We'll let you know, but you're going to get the recording. Yeah, I think that's that. So,
do you have a presence in the Republic of Ireland?
Okay, Republic of Ireland. I have people there, but I've not done any property there yet. So I will not be able to, promise anything there. But if we have enough people that are interested, then we can take it from there.
All right.
So the office in Atlanta.
I'll try and follow up because I'm based there, and I'm interested anyway. That's it.
Okay. So we are presently doing US, yeah.
Thank you very much.
But we have not, yeah. So the office in Atlanta, I'll put it in the chat box. Anybody that wants to talk to Bishop. So the phone number is there. So if you want the expression of interest form, you can contact Bishop and he will send it to you. I'll put that on the chat box. So I think that answers that question. So I think we are all good now. Yeah, I think we are all good now. So
please, sir, can we see the number again?
It's on the chat box.
Okay, sir.
I've typed it on the chat box. So it's 470-272-8859. 470-272-8859. So if you are calling from outside the US, it will be +1 470-272-8859. So thank you very much, everyone, for being a part of this meeting tonight. We look forward to having you join us to be a part of this. And if you are not following me on my social media platforms, follow me now. On Instagram at Olumide Emmanuel, on X at Olumide Emmanuel, and then on Facebook at Olumide.Emmanuel. Then go to my YouTube channel at Dr. Olumide Emmanuel on YouTube. This video will most likely be posted there also. So we have a lot of videos that you can go and watch on my YouTube channel and get a lot of educational stuff that will help you on your journey to wealth creation. And in another 2 weeks or thereabouts, I'll be doing another masterclass on the Diaspora Plus promo. So we'll also inform you of that so that you can join us on that Zoom also, so that we'll talk about Diaspora Plus promo. This one will be about you buying properties in Nigeria, in our estate, which are fully fenced properties with gates. So we'll talk more about that. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. Thank you, my baby, for all the technical support and intervention. And then thank you for my internet borrowers. I borrowed all manner of internet here. There are like 4 internet working here, just jamming each other. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all. So my baby, can you scroll to the last place where the phone numbers are so that we'll wrap up now? Okay, yeah. So let's go to where the phone numbers. Yeah, so that's the phone number. That's the office address. That's everything about our address, the email and phone number. So you can take a picture of that, or you can screenshot it, but I've given you the phone number already. So thank you very much, everyone. God bless you all. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful month. And I pray that God will perfect all that concerns you. Amen. In Jesus' name. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye. Thank you, sir. Good night. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night, sir.